So when we run power out to the shelter building, we're gonna run Ethernet out there.
Probably. Hey guys, welcome to the stream this week. We're gonna do things a little bit different, or more like last week. Levi here had the idea he wants to do a double penny scroll wall hook. Penny scroll, for those of you who don't remember.
Twitch is showing offline, and YouTube is still doing the Connect Streaming software.
Alright, so hold on just a second here. Levi's gonna help her out because he knows how that side of the house works. By the way, we have Brittany helping us out today. You all met her last week. Start the stream off with burning some metal here. That's always a good sign. While they work that out, I don't know what's happening over there. Today's smoke is a Mark Twain riverboat. Very nice, yummy smoke. I usually buy these by the box. Always nice to have them around. YouTube being a punk.
No, thanks, good.
Got it.
There's a really good chance my neighbor's gonna blast his motorcycle as he drives by. I'm sorry for all that extra noise. Yep, never disappoints. So yeah, we'll continue with that. So yeah, we're gonna do a double penny scroll wall hook kind of thing. Or the hook, instead of it being like a garment hook, I'm thinking we're gonna do like a lantern hook where it'll come out like all sticky and then have a hook on the end of it. He's hanging a lightsaber on the wall. It's got a thick hilt. You don't want that right up against the wall because then the blade will stick out. So get it away from the wall a little bit. So we're gonna start this stuff off like we always do. Remembering camera angles. We're going to start by squaring off our rod here. Square. You'll notice I raised my material hand back a little bit to meet the hammer so we can put the taper in there. Got a lot of heat in here, so I figured I'd just jump a step. Levi's done this once or twice before. So go ahead and jump on in there, Levi.
All right.
Square it up. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to adjust the blower down a little bit. It's crazy. Sorry for that paper, all right. So you notice he's working all four corners there. Hanging out at the edge of the anvil so his hammer doesn't bounce off the anvil while he's working. I think he ran all the heat out of that piece. Oh, I wasn't even in the fire. That'll slow you down. So yeah. Let that heat up here real quick. Just a little bit more. I don't want to get behind. Could have pushed out a little bit more, but I don't want Levi's piece to burn up, so I'm going to relinquish the anvil to him. And he's going to continue working that taper down. We're going to want a nice, long, skinny taper so we can make these penny scrolls look real nice. stress fractures in there? Or is that just the metal bending?
I think that's just metal bending, but I can't tell.
Here, you want to step away there? Thank you. Got that fire rip roaring hot when we got it started. So I don't want to leave the pieces in there too long until that calms down just a little bit. Now you want to jump back in there. Keep in mind your piece is much thinner now, so it's going to heat up real quick. So let's not burn our pieces all up. And what's the rule for going back to round?
Square, octagon, what is that, dodecagon, something like that.
Could be hex, but the general rule of thumb is square, octagon, round. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, I'll need another heat on that.
Yeah, I think so. There's never anything wrong with taking a couple extra heats just to make it look nice. Almost happy with that. I think I'll do one more heat just to clean up some of those shoulders a little bit. Try not to throw my piece on the ground and before it was up there. No, I'm sitting at a precarious angle there. Don't forget to work these squares that you have up here. There we go. Looking good. Almost like you've done this once or twice before.
A couple of times, not many.
Probably could have been hotter here, but should be able to do some work. Yeah, I'm just not liking how that's turning out there. I'm going to do one more heat. I'm going to get the heat a little bit higher on the piece. Just not happy with those shoulders I put in there. Step out of your way so you can jump in there. Brittany, any comments, questions? Do you have any comments or questions? All right. Back to the action there.
Not quite centered, but I think that's probably good enough to start scrolling.
Probably. Let's see here if I can catch up with you real quick. Just want this to look a little bit nicer. That's not bad. Levi, did you have a question?
I did.
What do you got?
So, since we're leaving a gap for a nail, are we going to be hanging a little bit more off the edge of the anvil than we normally do?
Yeah,
That way.
probably what I think we should do is overshoot it a little bit for that first initial drop.
Okay.
And then when we stand it up proud, we can watch it to kind of get a better gauge as to how big we want that to be.
All right. So hang it like 3/8 of an inch off the edge, or
No. Let's see. I was going to shoot for about right here.
okay, that's about an inch.
Let's see. call it, that's about 1.25 inches. That's a bit much. So I'm going to probably shoot for about 1 inch or so.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to have plenty of leadway. So when I stand it up, I can see a little bit better. Yeah, I think I'll probably shoot for about 1 inch or a little bit more.
How about you do that part first so I can watch it?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I'm going to take my piece out of the fire so I don't melt it.
That's a really smart move. Gonna feed the fire a little bit here so we don't end up working out of a cavern. We're not dwarves.
I don't know.
In the Tolkien sense. What was that, Brittany?
It'll be fun though.
Go hang out in the mines of Moria, collect some mithril. I'd imagine mithril, even though it's light, I would imagine it would be hot.
Imagine somewhat similar to working with titanium.
Probably.
Because it's super light, super strong, and most races have the technology to work it, so.
Alright, I'm gonna do some things here. Gonna hang that off probably about 1 inch or a little bit more. And I'm gonna work just the tip. And I'm gonna fold it over like so. And then work it back towards myself. Good broad strokes, kind of in an upward fashion a little bit. I spent so much time looking at it and talking, I ran out of a lot of heat. So I think I'm going to heat that up a little bit more and finish that off. I usually do a very tight hook when I do a penny scroll because I like it to be real tight and like solid metal all the way through without any gaps.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're purposefully putting the gap in here, it's kind of hard to gauge that just by sight. So let's see. Bring that back over here. Well, that did not come out as large as I would want it to. So I may be able to cheat here. If I can find the center punch. Hey Levi, come over here and give this just the slightest tap. One more time, little tap. One more. There we go. So, open that back up. And I think I'll heat it up one more time and see if I can't get it to bend over and keep that gap. Sorry. And of course, if we had something that was similar to the nail, we could have just bent it over that nail, and that would preform our gap for us. Another way you could do that is if you were to stand that up and then gently tap here. That would also help you with that bend. It'd be a little bit less awkward than hammering over the air.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's not bad for a nail hole. Like your average style of nail. I think you were talking about making your own and maybe doing a square nail. We just have to make a really small nail. But yeah, that's about average. I think I'll continue mine about that size.
I don't think we're going to do the square holes this time. That would be fun.
No, gentle taps on this. You don't want to blow it away. Now keep in mind, if you're having a hard time getting the hammer in there, you can come over here and give it little taps. And I'll push it against the handle that way. I would get that hot again, so you'll get it to move where you want it to. It's getting a little cold. It's gonna get fussy with you. I'm just coming back over here. I'm just gonna go back and do our typical penny scroll fashion. You just fold it off the side, fold it back over itself. I did not have that hot enough. It does not want to bend. Get that hot again. I just did not want to move. While you work, I'm going to man that fire a little bit. It's getting a little cavernous.
Right on.
Even not bad. You're cruising right along with this. I'm not getting hot. Yeah, we're cruising right along on it. Probably shouldn't take too long to get these done. Once those penny scrolls start moving, it'll be fun. Then when we get to the like lantern hook, it'll be way more exciting, I think. A little bit different.
I think doing the reverse penny scroll, hitting the bunch up together, that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take some reworking and working it and getting the metal to participate or cooperate rather. I'm going to use all the angles of your anvil. Anvil is a tool, not just a workbench. Just closing up those gaps a little bit. You know, I can probably increase that just a little bit. There we go. Made the gap a little bit bigger and closed in one of those gaps. Handy to have the tools handy. Jump back in the old fire here. But yeah, definitely getting the reverse scrolls to match up will be fun. Where you may not have been hot enough for that. I don't think you're going to get much metal moving. Neighbors participating in the stream again.
Oh, shit.
Nice to have the tools handy. Worked out all that heat. We got one heck of a fire going on there.
Right.
Too bad we are not welding today. That's hot. Let's just make a bunch of racket while we're at it. Pull down these tools a little bit. He's stretching out his gap a little bit there with my center punch.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get that to close up the.
Don't hammer directly on the anvil if you really think that is a center punch, not an actual punch, so I don't want to ruin my tip. Not bad. So, Miss Brittany, any comments, questions?
Is there anybody out there?
Is there anybody out there?
Nope.
Nobody?
Not at the moment.
Right on. Well, they'll show up or they won't. That's fine.
Mostly us having fun.
Yeah. Cameras or no cameras, I'd probably be out here building this. I'm getting heat, just not in the right spot. Could set that anywhere, that's fine. Here we go. Fold it on over. You hammer it back down on itself. Levi, how many scrolls did we say we were going to do?
4 or 5.
I don't think I'm going to have the metal to do all that. I think I'll do 1 or 2 more.
I would like to see it behind the lightsaber.
I get that. Makes total sense to me. There you go. You're staying pretty well centered. Are you going lopsided one way or the other?
Pretty well centered.
Yeah, not bad.
I had it corrected a heat or 2 ago. Something like that.
That's bad. You're getting a little cold for that. There's something to keep in mind when you're doing these penny scrolls is you don't want to work that stuff too cold because A, you're not going to move much metal, so you're just wasting your time, and you run the risk of collapsing that eye in the middle. Leave myself enough room to do all the work. I think I'll just do 1 more. Yeah, we'll get it hot. We'll do 1 more full lap. And then I'm going to give up on that side for now. Hold it off the side. There you go. Now give it little taps where you need to. There you go. Gotta work those angles. Work those angles. Alright, let's do 1 more over here. That over. Stand it up tall and just roll it down on itself. Being sure to correct when needed. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to stop on mine. So still off. Penny scroll. There we go. Not bad for a start. And set this off to the side and let you get caught up, Levi. Then you can do as many scrolls as you want. You have more metal than I do, so have at it. However you want to do it for yours. Doing great. Let's put that motorcycle back in here.
Gotta have fun with the motorcycles.
Oh yeah. They're a lot of fun until you break your neck in 2 places.
Yeah, that makes it considerably less fun.
Alright, while you heat up. Boop. Hey, quick announcement. Thanks to Miss Brittany being so helpful. There's now a Brimstone Forge TikTok, I suppose, that we'll be working on. Brimstone Forge US on TikTok, is that correct? So, is it a follow, a subscribe, a
It's a follow.
follow? So, follow me on TikTok now.
Well, do that right now.
Good man. I think I saw Brittany skating around behind the cameras with her phone out, so I think maybe she's posting videos there. I don't know.
Not yet.
Not yet? All right.
It'll be posted. Just
Okay.
not yet.
You're about ready to do some work there. Don't want you to burn up your piece. You've done a lot of good work on it. So you've done this a few times, Levi. Walk them through what you're doing there.
Alright, so right now I'm just hanging the edge off. That way I can start the next bit of the curl. I probably took too much off the edge there, but we're getting a little bit bigger. So as you get bigger, you have to hang a little bit more off the edge. And now I'm just tapping.
So you got a little bit of a gap forming there. How are you going to fix that gap?
So now I'm going to hang it over the edge and tap it down.
Perfect. Well done. Couldn't have said it better myself. I have to turn the volume down on my phone. I'm driving myself crazy listening to myself. I don't listen to myself when I talk. I don't need to listen to myself echo back at myself.
Right.
So, Levi, while we wait for that to heat up a little bit, what made you decide on a double penny scroll to hang up your lightsaber?
I wanted to see the penny scroll, but I figured if I did just a hook off the penny scroll, I wouldn't be able to see too much of it. So, do a penny scroll to hold it, and then another one with the hook out the middle of it.
To be fancy?
Yeah.
I dig it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the penny scroll. I would do those all day, every day. If I could find a job where I just had to make penny scrolls all day long, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I called the bait on that. I figure you'd probably get pretty fed up after the first day. Penny scrolls.
I don't know. It's time in the shop. Playing with metal and stuff. I suppose it would depend greatly on how much they are paying me to make penny scrolls all day long.
Yes, this famously money-motivated individual.
That's me. Not afraid to say it.
Nothing wrong with that. So, I want to have both penny scrolls even, so I'm trying to figure, I should have taken some measurements before coming over here, but trying to gauge the size of this to the hilt of the lightsaber. I think I'll have to do one more curl. Hopefully that'll leave me enough to curl this back up the other way.
Yeah, we should have measured how much we used there.
That would have been smart.
Yeah, but we just kind of threw ourselves at it, so that's fine too. We'll get it worked out one way or the other.
Yeah.
And if it turns out too small, guess what we get to do?
Again!
We get to make them s'more. You just go ahead and rebury yourself a hole down in there. I had to fix that fire a little bit. It was definitely falling apart, so it may take a little bit longer for your piece to warm up since I rebuilt the fire.
That's okay. Gives you time for a shameless mug plug.
It's shameless mug plug. I love it. We will do it there. Shameless mug plug. Because if you're going to run around with branding on everything in our lives, t-shirts, cups, hats, all that stuff, Might as well promote your own brand, right? Or the brands of your friends. I stole a hat from a buddy of mine that's a real estate broker. So from time to time, I can run around with the Dre Realty hat. Sean Daniels Real Estate here in Indianapolis. He's out here just crushing it. Should check out like his YouTube channel. He's got incredible shorts. He's always dancing through houses and having a good time. And those houses are beautiful. So definitely check it out. My buddy Robert's standing up his own little print business, but he's not quite ready for the big time yet. So we'll start plugging him once he's ready. Then, of course, the teacher that taught me would be Kurt up at Custom Blacksmithing in Atlanta, Indiana. Guy's been blacksmithing for like 52 years. These classes are a lot of fun. Every Thursday night, we're out there beating on metal. My cigar's falling apart. I think you're about ready to do some things. Yay! Go ahead and jump on in there, buddy. Oh. There you go. Camera. Pop. That way people can see what you're doing. It's a nice big scroll. You're getting a gap again. I didn't know if you could see that from your angle. Yep.
It'll disappear.
Mm-hmm. I'll let the fire take care of that problem. I might have to give up on the cigar. It's falling apart like crazy.
Oh no.
So I was at the IBA conference up in Tipton a couple weekends ago. And this guy, I saw him standing over there kind of thing. And he pulled a cigar out of a little metal tube. And he cut it. And he reached in his pocket and he pulled out like a cigar mouthpiece. You know those things that they used to do in the movies back in the 50s that had like the really long cigarette thing?
Mm-hmm.
It was like that, but it was like that big. And he stubbed that onto the back of his cigar and was walking around smoking it with this like black and silver decorative thing. Like, I have never seen anything like that for a cigar before. I'm not gonna lie, I jumped online to see how much they were because it was kind of cool. It's like I might want one of those. It'd be perfect for this problem that I'm having here.
Yeah.
So when you're throwing your scroll in there, since you're more concerned about working the stem and not so much the scroll itself, put the scroll up so all the heat goes to the stem because that's what you're bending anyways.
Makes sense. This is also my first time working with coal, so
Yeah, there's
learning curve.
a big learning curve. But you're doing a good job. I would have burned that piece in half by this time when I was first started using coal. There you go.
Which is saying something because I'm easily distractible.
You and me both. Yeah, there you go. Looking good. Me personally, after you get this scroll done, I would lay it flat and give it a couple of taps because it's getting a little out of whack. Yep. Get a little wiggly there.
Mm-hmm.
That scale out of the way, you're just marring up a piece. Which is something to think about while you're working. If you let a lot of scale build up on your anvil, the metal is hot, so as you would hammer on top of that scale is super, super hard. So it'll put cuts and grumps in your. You got a little overly hot in the fire there.
Mm-hmm.
Some nasty bits there.
Yeah.
Let's see how bad that is. Give that a couple of good scrapey scrapes. See how deep that goes.
That one's decently deep.
Well, that can be wall side.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So it's not too bad, but
You can hit that with the old wire brush or a bit of a grinder and work that out.
little roasty toasty. And like you said, if we don't like it, I can make another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Have to pick up some more material though.
Yeah.
This is the last of that 1/4 inch stuff I picked up for last week's S hooks, which I would like to think those S hooks from last week came out pretty nice. Not a bad little S hook. Not exactly symmetrical, but you know, we try. Brittany's came out very nice. Hers came out nicer than my first S hook.
Had a good teacher.
Thank you. And just for the record, I did not pay her to say that.
This time.
Let me know when I need to make my next payment.
I'm going on a trip this weekend, so if you feel like doing it before then, that's fine.
That one got a little loosey on me.
So trying to get used to this new forge and how that blower likes to work. Find myself going too high or too low on it 90 times. So still trying to work it out.
I think I need to close up this roll a little bit more, and then I can flip it around.
All right. Say when, and I'll throw mine back in there too and start working out my other side. So we had a bit of a discussion about how to go about doing this lantern hook, but inside the scroll. So we're going to do it kind of like a candle holder. But the discussion was, do we put the hook on it and then lap it up, or do we just leave it out pointy, and then once it's all scrolled up, then put the hook on it? And I think probably the right thing to do is taper it down, put on the curl, put on the lantern hook, and then space it out and wrap it up, because then you don't have to hold a funky thing that's like in 2 dimensions, you know, like largely we work in 1 dimension kind of thing. So you don't have to hold it sideways and hit it that way. It'll line up better that way.
It'll be interesting.
You can tell I'm tired because I'm extra rambling today. That doesn't go anywhere. Like I'm going to turn into Grandpa Simpson. Like, and so anyways, I had on my belt, which was style at the time. Which, how fun would that be to walk around with an onion on your belt?
I think you should make it fast.
It should be a thing. In honor of Grandpa Simpson, we should all walk around with big yellow onions on our belt.
I think Brittany, you might kill me if you start doing that.
I'm trying to figure out how that would be fun. Jesse was like, I think it'd be fun. Like, what are you gonna do with an onion on your belt?
You can use it to make random people cry. Just
There's
start cutting
that
on
and
it.
onions smell
I mean,
nice.
you just have to come up with snarky remarks really quickly because I almost had Jesse there yesterday. I think.
You almost killed me on that one. That was a well put zinger. Oh, don't dig down to the fire, or you'll end up like the ring from the Lord of the. But yeah, like think about like dangly earrings. Like those are fun, and you just wear them because they're fun. Like put an onion on your belt, like hanging off in like a little like mesh like bag.
I feel like you're trying too hard now.
I'm a very tired person. I've been up way too long.
Alright, let's see if I can fix this.
What do we fix it? I would not do it that way. There you
I initially had a gap right over there. Alrighty.
give it a quick smash. Easy. To it, not through it. And then go to the flat side and just a little tapping over there. There you go. That was just a little proud. All right, you ready to jump into the other side?
Yep, I'm thinking my other scroll's gonna have to be a little bit smaller.
Ain't nothing
We're
wrong with
gonna
that.
we're gonna need to keep it
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna have to go.
3/4 of an inch, so that much at least has to be out. And then start scrolling.
You know, I should have thought of this before. No, I think it'll work out because we're going to go the opposite direction. I was going to say that maybe usually you want to set that off so it's not going down the side, it comes off at a 90 because then you go into your hook and then it looks all nice. But I think with wrapping it up the other way, it'll work out nicely. I think if we put that 90 in there, then it'll be a weird transition.
Yeah, I think this way we can get a nice little S shape out of
Yeah,
the two curls.
I think it'll be nice. So we'll just start working on tapers and hooks on the other side. It's gonna take a minute for that to heat up a little bit since it's cold steel. So yeah, the zinger that Brittany killed me with yesterday. We were driving to go pick up bait because we were going fishing, and well, she was going out on her paddleboard. I was going fishing, and Levi joined in too. But nonetheless, we came across the truck just like mine, same color. It was a Rubicon version though, and the thing was like a foot taller than mine, and mine's already lifted with 35-inch tires, and his was like a foot taller than mine. It was monstrous. And I said that looked nice, but that's way too ostentatious for me. And without skipping a beat, almost as if it was scripted, Brittany fires off with, "Well, that's an awfully big word for you." I about jumped out of the moving vehicle. Like, dang, that was cold-hearted.
Still really proud of it.
As rightfully you should. That was a good zinger. I was a little devastated and a little proud. All right, now drink. So, any comments, questions, Miss Brittany, from you or the chats?
Still non-existent.
It's a quiet day. Nothing wrong with that.
So essentially, it kind of works the same as like the S hooks, but you just keep curling it on.
Yeah.
So you go through the same like square off taper, all of that, and then you just keep rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we did the S hooks, here I'll bring up a visual aid here. When we do the S hooks, we put a fancy little scroll at the end of it there, so you don't just have a pointy bit sticking out. So basically, just like we started that little circular scroll, you would just keep rolling, like Limp Biscuit taught us back in the early aughts, until you get the old penny scroll. giving me a judgy look because I referenced Limp Bizkit.
No.
Like, what were they doing? Like, we all just let that happen.
You gonna melt your tip off again?
Or do I want to melt my chip off again? That's a good question.
Not even close. Dang.
Not even close. Are you melting your piece again? We're good. Not melting anything at the moment.
I figured I was pretty safe. I went in after you did.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out this blower to get it right. I'm either too hot or too
I
cold.
don't think that blower is maintaining constant speed. I feel like it's.
It could be. I don't know what's going on with it.
I think we need to pull it off and service it. I don't know if we need to replace it, but I think it needs a good cleaning.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't look that rough. It looks pretty good. I probably just need to grease them bearings or something.
You
Which is-
probably just need to redo the electrical connections because it needed some assistance getting started. So that means there's too much current getting drawn somewhere.
That's a fair point. I think, yeah, I definitely want to replace that fan controller at some point. It's funny you said it just needs a good cleaning. My grandpa, who used to live out in California when he was still living, he would drive down the street and see like a vacuum cleaner sitting in the trash, and he'd stop and throw it in the back of his pickup truck, take it home, take it all completely apart, clean it up, put it back together. It would work. And then he'd put a for sale sign on it and put it at the end of his driveway and sell it to some guy driving down the road.
Does that mean that he was becoming the vacuum cleaner?
Yes, he became the vacuum cleaner. That's exactly how that works. But yeah, that was a common phrase with Grandpa was, it just needs a good cleaning. That was always his phrase.
I mean, 90% of things that are broken, people chuck out, just need to be cleaned.
A buddy of mine, that was a hobby of his. He would just pick up whatever random thing was on the side of the road, fix it, and then sell it, just for the joy of learning how it worked and then fixing it. He made once, like over 2 or 3 years, he made lots of money off of broken lawnmowers out in the trash. He'd take them home, fix them, and then sell them for a couple $100. Last project I knew of that he was working on was he got one of those, I don't know what the politically correct phrase for him is, but those pretend motorcycle scooter.
Like dirt bikes?
No, like you see people riding on the road with them all the time. It doesn't require registration or insurance or anything like that. It's just the weird little scooters.
Mini bikes?
One more time.
Mini bikes?
No, it's like a full size, like adult.
Just scooter, I think.
Yeah, he had one of those that was just laying on the side of the road, like by the garbage can. So he dragged it home and had it all taken apart and was fixing it. I don't know if you ever got that fixed or not. I don't know what happened to it.
I can't tag him since he doesn't have any video. But do you know how to go live and then you can leave my live up on it?
So I think
They're doing some weird nerd stuff that I don't know
I
what
have
they're
enough
doing.
people for it. I just haven't bothered.
Can't
figuring
tell
out how
if
to
this
do
is
it.
helping or not. Let's see.
you should just be able to.
Or
Any better?
throw up a link
I can't tell.
throw up a quick picture video with me with
What's hits of metal?
links to the live. Something.
So, just like before, just like always, we square things up. Maybe. Boop. Square things up real nice. You can see. Kind of square it up a little bit. Hard to tell. So now that it's square, I'll start working that taper on the next heat. Wonder if Levi's piece is burning off in here. Am I? Nope. You're getting there though. You're not getting to burning, but you're about ready to do some stuff.
Alright. I'll come back over, do my next step, and then see if I can figure it out a little bit more.
There you go. Disembodied hand. I was hoping that was going to take you a little bit longer. Got Todd trying to refill my Pepsi over here.
Right.
So you should just be able to hit the plus button like you're doing.
Hopefully I don't burn my piece off while I'm refilling my cup, so sorry for the delay here.
It has like camera, tablets, and live.
Alright.
Alright, let's do some blacksmithing here. So, as I said, nice and square. Start working that taper down. I try and keep this taper kind of short. I want to save more metal for the hook and less for real skinny taper. Get that hot again.
Wow.
Back over here. Trying to see if we can get these lights figured out.
Trying to see if
So you can actually see my face instead of just a shadow where my face should be. Got these cool lights. I can't look at the camera and look at my screen at the same time to see if it's helping or not.
I will let our behind the scenes gal take it. How do I rotate? Have fun. Whee!
Think you're ready to do some stuff there, buddy?
There we go. Get this down a little bit more, and then I can start grounding it. This is a lot more interesting to do when it's not just a stick behind it.
Oh yeah, with your little handle that you made there. There's always a challenge.
I need more heat.
I would agree. I concur, Doctor. Making that very pointy. To add the challenge of not burning off the tip.
Excuse
me. Stuff out everywhere.
Thank you.
The cigar is just on the struggle bus.
That's how mine was yesterday. I lost the majority of the wrapper on it.
You're rounding your off. I'm dragging my tail here. I'm just trying to make it all super pointy. I'm falling behind.
Yeah, I think mine's about ready to start curling. I'm just gonna have to remember to curl this way. That way I can reverse the curl from that.
Well, remember, you gotta do a lantern hook first. So you want to do the tiniest little curl like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll set it down and start doing the actual hook bit.
All right. So which way should I curl the tiny curl? Still probably opposite of this.
I would, well, we can always twist it if need be.
Where's your little chalk thingamajig? You can draw it out and figure it out.
Well, that's exactly it. At where you're at now, we can always spin it around, twist it, or whatever to fix that. So,
because if we have it curl like this,
let's see if I can
curl, hook, straight, rotate. Whee!
My piece isn't burning apart, is it?
All
right, my chalk has ran away.
Yeah, still all right for the most part.
Probably put my chalk in my pocket and then didn't put it back in my. This one way.
Seems like something you would do.
Yep, I do that kind of thing all the time. So what I'm doing here is just working down those high points, doing my square octagon round business. Definitely gonna have to do a couple more heats on that. Plus it's getting kind of hot in my hand. Cool that off a little bit.
Wee little.
Yeah, just a wee little. Then we do this because that is really pointy and really sharp. You don't want somebody to walk by it, snag their clothes, or if you decide that this becomes your new hat rack or coat rack instead of a lightsaber rack, then you don't want it to snag up your clothes. There you go. If you will stay out of the fire for just a minute, I'll get caught up to you, and then we can work on that hook at about the same time.
Sounds good.
Not too cold. I thought I could get that curl in there, but alas, I could not.
So close.
Close, but not quite.
Can't say no cigar because you have a cigar.
I do have a cigar. Well, at least something resembling a cigar. I might give up on this and light up a new one. Yeah, she's dead. Must be fire So now for the hooky deal. Just probably right over the horn. See if we can't get a good hook that way. It's definitely going to take some rejiggering. Not done a hook like this before.
I'm almost thinking the horn might be too big, so maybe use your hunch as a curl. That seems like
a little circular dealie that would work better than hammering on the side of my center punch. Where that little circular dealie went. Oh,
I think that's still a really big hook, but yeah.
well, I guess it comes down to how big do you want this hook to be.
That's fair.
I'm thinking if it's just going on the D-ring on the hilt of your saber, it doesn't have to be huge.
Yeah.
But decent size. You don't want the tiniest little hook. You don't want it to be so shallow that when a dog bumps the blade, it jumps off the
I think if we had the rest of it level with this and then the tip of the curl we just made down level with the shoe and the handle there, we could probably call that pretty good. Give it some variance in height and some aesthetic appeal.
Yeah. Mine's probably not going to be used for a lightsaber.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to kind of have at it. It may end up actually becoming a lantern hook. So let's see what we can come up with here. I'm going to quench my tip so I don't destroy my curl. I'm going to hang it off the side. Dang. And just start bending it over. Straighten that out just a little bit. Happy with that hook? I don't know. Now we're going to have to drop that hook down, which I probably should have done that before, but I have a wrench and I can hook that down that way. So yeah. So what do you think about that?
I like that.
All right. So did you see how I did that? I think so. Cool. So have at thee. Oh, you want to be much hotter than that, buddy.
Yeah.
You're just going to be fighting yourself on that one. You want that metal to be real hot so it bends over real nice for you.
Now it's going to be real interesting to try and punch that tip. Hammers down bottom.
Okay. Thank you. I think we need to throw some more coal in this here fire. Wish I had a little cup type thing so I could do it again.
Sounds like you need to make one.
Maybe. Usually you don't want to throw just green coal straight on top of the fire because then you get all that smoke and stuff. But I didn't have any on the side, so we'll make do with what we're doing there. I think maybe I'll do the hooking with this camera so I'm not having to lean over the anvil there. Little one. Do a little bit of poking holes so the fire can breathe a little bit. Getting a little warm. Wrong hand. Uh-oh.
What'd you lose?
Oh, no, there she is. Fantastic.
told me not to dig it in.
Well, we are on a bunch of green coal. We're not even in the fire yet, so trying to get down there. All right, Levi. So, what are you thinking of the project so far?
It's fun.
Yeah?
Very swirly.
Giving you high school flashbacks?
Never had those kind of issues in high school.
You know, I didn't have that either. Luckily enough.
I'm thinking I need more beverage. I'm gonna run and grab more beverage while you're fiddling with the fire.
Hey, FYI, I think there's a quasi-cold Pepsi in the cooler in the back of the truck.
Cool. You need one?
No, I'm okay. Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
Got all that smoke. All right, so that's going to take a second. So I'm going to take a second.
I had some charcoal in my cup.
It's good for you. Hey, it's better to have charcoal in your cup by accident than under the Christmas tree on purpose.
I don't know. I feel like getting you a thing of charcoal for Christmas would make you pretty happy.
Funny how things that you dread as a child become like your favorite things as an adult.
So we've got two people watching.
Yay!
One of which is me, so I don't really count. But there's somebody else that's watching.
Finally, we have a person.
Hooray! Wait, what are you doing with Levi's phone?
TikTok live.
Oh, we're live on his account too? So we're giving him a
so we're not live on mine. I was just doing videos,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna put them together and post a video
cool.
to your page. But I don't have enough people, and you don't have enough people since
Go
we
live.
just started it last night to go live on your account. So
Yeah.
Levi does. So we are using. He let us use.
I don't know how to tag people in my live, but we can tag those two accounts. So hopefully we can get them to where they can go live and not have to circumnavigate like this.
So now you're getting a whole bunch of free views and likes and
Yay.
whatevers.
Right? I'll take it.
I like destroyed this fire.
Just a bit.
Went a little heavy-handed on the old coal.
Jessica 777. Have an amazing day, beautiful souls.
She clearly does not know who I am. But thank you, Jessica 7777777.
Too many sevens.
7.
But
7. Friends reference for those older nerds there. Still think Rachel should have ended up with Joey so she would stop ruining Ross's life, which is what she did for 9 straight seasons.
Yeah.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Now that fire's cooking.
Yeah, she's getting there. I think we had a couple of clinkers down there blocking the airflow. So I turned it down a little bit so it wouldn't turn into an absolute furnace.
Still getting pretty toasty over there.
That it is. Right you are, Levi. Right you are. All right, now we're finally getting there. swear, I manage a coal fire all the time. I don't know what my problem is today.
Because you're on camera.
I think it's more so lack of sleep.
You don't sleep.
Excuses.
I certainly didn't sleep last night. Woke up at one point sideways in the bed, and my giant dog had taken up the entire rest of the California king size. Thanks for that, Rosha.
Yeah, I know how that goes. My dogs regularly push me off the bed, and then I wind up on the floor. The cat will come and sleep on top of me when I'm on the floor. It's like, I can't win.
Live in a jungle.
And just for reference, I'm about 5'3". Rosha will standing on her back legs is taller than me.
She's like 130 pounds of lapdog. If she likes you. Which is rare, because she doesn't like many people.
I don't know. I feel like she likes a lot of people. It just takes her a while to like them. As soon as she knows them, she likes them. But it takes a while for her to know them.
She's known Ty for a long time and is just now getting to the point where she doesn't like tremble and growl at him. And she's even let him touch her, not pet her. He touches her and then she backs away. And then Paul, who has known Rosha since she was, several weeks old, still wants nothing to do with him.
I think she's just prejudiced against tall people.
Maybe it's the fact that she, can't be taller than them if she wants to be, so she's like.
I thought that theory myself. Maybe she just doesn't like tall people. Eventually, this one will happen. Other than just traveling off the side. I think your piece is getting just about warm enough to where you could actually do some work.
All right.
If you want to take this because your piece is probably a little warm.
All right. Let's see if I can actually do this.
You're going to have to be careful.
Uh-oh. That's not something I'm good at.
You'll notice that your heat is kind of away from your tip there so you can work it without ruining it. No, go the other way, buddy. Hammer down, not up. There you go. Remember, to it, not through it. Now, what are we trying to attempt there? Are we trying to close that gap a little bit or widen that hook?
Trying to close the gap so we can probably come over here and just.
Exactly. Let's go ahead and get that hot. You don't want to misshapen it too much.
Because you're always saying any bends I put in, I can take out.
It's almost like you listen to the things I say sometimes.
What?
Wild. Ba-da-da-da. All right. Camera. There we go. So we're just going to grab that doodad and give it a good bend out. Probably should start that a little bit higher. There we go. Then we'll clean that up. Which I know stood that back up, which is fine. I just mostly want this to look nice. I'm going to get that hot again and work that down a little bit. But that's my fault. I started too far back for the hook that I want.
I think I might try a little bit different. Pinch the front edge of the hook and then just hang it off the edge and tap it down.
You can do that too. And like you just said, is if you put a bend in it that you don't like, you can take that bend out because you put it there.
Fun fact, this is stupid. The live got restricted because of tobacco use.
And that just means
We're
adults
still
see it.
live, just not everyone can see it.
Yeah, it
Age
just means
restricted.
I prefer that anyways.
True.
That was fast. Like, are they using AI to recognize that kind of thing, or did somebody report it? Did Jessica
idea.
777777777 report us after calling us beautiful souls?
Nah,
Rude.
it's
if true.
probably the AI deal. They have a lot of AI stuff on.
Which I wonder if it'll like. Oh, there's a lot of smoke coming out of that coal forge. Age restricted.
No, because I've
No.
seen other forging lives that aren't restricted like that.
Or California's gonna make us like they're gonna block us unless we put up a warning. It's like coal dust and has a 1 in 100,000 chance of giving you cancer. So don't block us, California. I said your disclaimer. Can I have? Thank you. Ba-da-da-da. Let's see. Oh, you know what we can do? Not grab hot metal with our bare hands is what we can do. That's the ticket.
Yeah.
So we
That's
got
probably the way to go.
Nope, wrong side. So it's a little bit wonky, but what's fun about that is we can just lay it down flat on the anvil. Let me use the flat side of my hammer and just give it a couple of taps while it gently burns my thumb. Now, I'm not overly happy with that hook, so I'm going to open that up just a little bit. There we go. That ain't bad. So, did you see how I did that, Mr. Levi?
I did indeed.
I'm going to jump out of the fire so you can catch up with me before we start doing the next step.
All right.
On your new truck,
What do you get?
a big old giant GMC type thingy. It's a huge truck.
Oh, fun.
You are way not hot enough, my friend. You want that to be like dang near yellow, and you'll have a better time than me.
I'm not patient. Patience may be a virtue, not necessarily one I possess.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, if you get that really good and hot, that'll bend over like butter. Just a little bit of gas there. Whee.
Fire's pretty.
So yeah, being able to hammer directly on this wrench may or may not be wise, but it's a good hard steel, and I just absolutely love these wrenches. I got this for $2.
That's a good deal.
That was a really good deal. Guy had a whole table. He's like, everything on that table is $2 a piece. And I saw that over on the corner with some other stuff on top of it. I was like, yoink, this is now mine. Love those. I've got probably 4 or 5 of those now. Eventually, one of them will get a handle welded to it, an extra handle, and it'll become a twisting wrench. I think that fan might need another kick. It looks like it's slowing down despite the fact that it's dead. That didn't seem to help. A little percussive maintenance.
Yeah, we could have a bunch of small stuff down in the bottom of the chamber, chopping it off too.
It could be that too. A lot of dust when you're forging. Nope. Get it hot. Pull that back out of there for just a half a second. Maybe a little bit more of a runway there so you're not so ducked down. Get that coke down in there. That way you close off the top and you lose less heat out into the air. Alright, now try to slide in there as even as you can, just go low from the start. About like that. Bada bing.
So, question:
Yes, question.
Why are you using the glove instead of the tongs?
Because I hate using tongs. Just that's
Okay.
where it comes down to. Like you have better grip with a hand than you do tongs. So that's why the Kevlar glove, because it's pretty heat resistant. It'll still get hot, and I've used those gloves so much that there are thin spots and holes and such. So you just have to be careful. But yeah, I'd much rather hold things with my hand than with tongs. Especially the tongs that I make. Get some good clean smoke going on here too. That fan seems to be picking up a little bit, which is good.
My piece is colder than when I went in.
Yeah, nice long stream today. Coming up on an hour and a half or so. So, any more comments, questions, Brittany? Anybody in the chats?
Not in this one.
Yeah, nobody over here.
All right, then. Quiet day today. Yeah, mine's going to be a real small scroll on that ending for it to be the lantern hook. I'm going to go out a couple inches and then start rolling it over. So it's probably going to be a very small pair of penny scrolls.
Yeah. I have a feeling my second scroll will be smaller than the first one.
There's nothing wrong with that because that's not the one you'll be thinking more of, right? Do you want to check that or shall I?
It's not ready. Oh, maybe.
Ooh, that's what you're looking for. Not bad. You got a weird wiggle in there.
Yeah.
So hang it off the edge, drooping.
What?
Smack it right there.
I see.
There you go.
That's mostly straight.
Yeah, not bad.
Alright, so now I'll have to come back probably somewhere there-ish and then we'll start the curl the other way. So we'll have to put another 90-degree turn in, no?
Yeah, depending on how long you want that stem to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say we're going here.
Mm-hmm.
You will smack straight down like that until it's at a 90 degrees, so your hook is up against the wall of the anvil.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll turn it 90 and then start your penny scroll like normal.
Okay.
This will take several heats.
Whee!
Cool. I will jump back in the fire because we're at the same spot now.
This back in without messing everything up. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yep. I keep on doing this with you, I'm gonna have to get my own tool.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to. I've been meaning to get new gloves for a while because these are getting a little long in the tooth. So yeah, fun little lantern hook type thing. Certainly takes a while, but I'm having a good time so far. It's a fun little project.
Right?
The next part's going to get a little bit hinky on us because when we fold that 90 over and stand it up and start rolling it, that hook side is going to do a lot of this. And you want to try to keep it contained, but not overcorrect all the time because eventually it'll get weak and snap off, and then you just wasted an hour and a half of your time.
So, my question: we figured out how to link 2 penny scrolls together. What if we want to do 3? Like penny scroll with hole in the middle, penny scroll with a hole in the middle, penny scroll with hook, or even
So like a Y?
like all of them in a line, just 3 dots in a line.
I don't like this idea, but this is my first knee-jerk reaction to that question because I've not tried that. I would think get your penny scrolls worked out on the edges, and then get yourself some scrolling tongs, which look like this, but are super, super pointy and much shorter, but just like super, super pointy, where they come to like a real tight taper, and then grab the center of it and start curling it up. But then you'll have where it's 2 lines coming in kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll always have like that middle.
I don't
Yeah.
think there'd be any way to do it without having 2 lines coming in. If you want to have more than 2.
And then it would be real difficult. Once you got it twisted just right, you'd have to fold them all back out so you could get a singular line in there. That'd be funky. It'd be fun to grab a piece of really thin, long scrap and give that a try.
So I went ahead and ended the live.
Okay.
Because we were at like 30 minutes. 208 likes. Didn't have any shares. But from like looking at the viewers, there are a handful of people that follow you, but most of them are random people. So
Cool.
We'll have to figure out how to put some tags in there next time we do it, so we can
I'll look into
link
it.
to this.
Hopefully, once I can get a video up for him, he can start getting more followers. And then that way he can.
There's mine, Levi. What do you think? I guess I should have flipped my camera. So yeah, there's the start of our next penny scroll. Just knocked it over 90 until it went up against the anvil. Worked it back and forth. And the next step will be starting the penny scroll that way. Yeah. So hook proud for me. Then start rolling it up. That's going to be funky looking. You're probably super hot over there. Still got plenty of heat there to do your thing. So decide how long you want that stem to be, and then lay it down. You're going to have to keep working like top side to keep that nice and tight like a twiker. Yeah, just like that. No, what I did was I stood it up like a nail and then hit down here to kind of correct that plane. See how you kind of got a little bit of a wiggle in there? Yeah. For me, my tip was also off center. I don't know if yours is from this angle.
I think that's.
Oh, you're pretty good. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, now if this is opened up a little bit, I'll turn it down. So now where's your? So you're coming out this way. So you want to curl that way. So for you as well, you're going to go hook high, and you're going to hammer here to fold it over 90 and start your penny scroll.
Yeah. That'll be real interesting. What I think I'll do is I'll probably quench the hook and then start trying.
You're welcome to if you like. I will not.
I'm not as graceful as you are.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. Let's see what happens. Thank you, sir. Let's see how this goes. Alright, so I want my hook crown. Ow. That's probably not hot enough to do what I want to do. I want to get that metal super hot so it bends real easily. Because now we got a whole bunch of different shapes going on, and if one piece is hot and one piece is cold, you'll get some funky shapes. So I'm going to try and keep that super hot so it'll bend real easy. So yeah, this is the interesting part, getting that second scroll in without destroying the hook and completely mangling it. I've been wanting to get like an old school like oil lantern, like almost like a railroad style, and just hang it up in the lounge. So I think this hook will go up on the wall and then hang it a little lantern.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Maybe put a battery powered LED in there.
Yeah, you can find some of those with some pretty good fire flicker profiles on them.
Or mix my tech and go completely off the rails and do like one of those Edison bulbs.
Yeah.
A little bit off.
Still orange one. Almost yellow.
Yep. Let that get a little bit hotter. Can we open up that coal chute real quick? That might help us out. You don't need the glove if you're quick. I was afraid that maybe it was backed up and restricting our airflow a little bit.
Nah, I'm wondering if our adjuster is giving out on us. We're
I
not
just don't think
something
that fan has a lot of sand in its britches because when we get the coal piled up real high, it slows down.
Yeah, I mean it's 1/70th of a horsepower.
Let's get like a 10 horse and put it on there.
We wouldn't be able to keep the coal down.
We'll launch coal out the chute.
And those would also be freaking loud.
It's so loud. One of those, like one of those furnace blowers. But get a long circular duct so we can put the blower back behind that tree and just run a duct over it.
At that point in time, you're losing all the.
Yeah, but then the noise is the neighbor's problem and not ours.
Yeah, but if we're not having the volume of air that.
So we'll start off with a big tube and go down to a smaller tube. Alright, so while we were working on last week's project, we came up with this week's project. What do we want to do next week?
I thought next week we were doing the non-dominant challenge.
Well, we got to make something.
I don't know. I think we'll probably struggle no matter what we make. S-hook's non-dominant.
Let's forge hammers, non-dominant hand, on a normal anvil instead of using a striking anvil.
So what's the difference between a normal anvil then and a striking anvil?
That's a good question. So that's a normal anvil. Striking anvils are usually about this high off the ground, and they have like 3 legs, sometimes filled with sand to get rid of some of the ring and so they don't hop around on the floor on you. And then on top of the plate that the legs are attached to is a square, about that big or so, about that thick. And it's attached to the top, and it's got a nice square hardy hole, just like on a normal anvil. And the reason why it's lower, since it's a striking anvil, you have one person holding the hot piece and tools, and someone with a sledgehammer.
You can get a bigger swing on it.
Yeah, because it'd be real hard to swing a sledgehammer on this, at least for me. So when you have it lower, and that's how you forge. Most of the time when I've used a striking anvil, it's to forge hammers. I forged this hammer. This is the first hammer I made, and it took 3.5 hours, and I thought I was going to die. I had Rob Huff swing in for me. Check out his channel too, Sharp Bend Forge on YouTube. That guy's a machine. He's like a power hammer in and of himself, and he was going so fast. And it was like sprinting a marathon for me. I was just trying to keep up with him. And when we were finally like, okay, it's done, let's let the metal rest, and so then we can heat treat it, I went and found a chair and just like died for a minute. It was a rough night, but it was a lot of fun. It was a big challenge, but it took 3.5 hours, and that was a lot. And Paul and Rob are constantly encouraging me to come back out and make another hammer. I keep telling them I just don't have the heart for it yet, but I think maybe I do now. I think I'm ready to do another hammer like that. Found a hole in the glove.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Sorry.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah. It was funny. Long before I got into blacksmithing, I used to watch Forged in Fire, just like everyone else that ends up getting into knife making or forging or whatever. And they had that disclaimer that forging takes years of training and this is super dangerous. Don't try this at home, blah, blah, blah. It's like, so it gets hot and you hit it with a hammer. Like, how dangerous can that be, really? And several burns later, like, oh yeah, I guess maybe you should have somebody show you what to do.
Yeah, somebody around here needs to get over their aversion of boots.
They're hot and uncomfortable, and I hate shoes. Okay, that's the.
You look when you look down at your shoes, you look so defeated. You're just,
Yeah, welcome to my life. Generally pretty defeated. Yeah, these shoes, I've had them for several years. I hate shoes.
There are more holes than shoes.
Well, to be fair, they were mesh, so they started off that way. But they were more empty space than solid space. But I hate shoes, so I wear shoes until they're like falling off my feet or like completely destroyed. And I started forging in these, and I very quickly started adding more holes from scale and slag and stuff. So I figure I'll just keep running these shoes until they're completely falling apart, and then I'll switch to my boots. But for the record, I don't want to. Do they do like a leather mesh boot?
I feel like that defeats the purpose a little bit.
Yeah, like you can find mesh combat boots, but that wouldn't offer the protection you're needing. Now they do make multi-layered leather boots, so they have a breathing layer that kind of wicks everything up to the top. But I don't know if that's exactly what you're looking for or not.
I just want a boot that'll breathe real nice.
They have those, yes.
So, people watching this video now or later, what's your favorite boot? Throw it in the comments. What's your favorite boot that doesn't destroy your back and feet and isn't super hot?
Red Wing.
I remember what were those boots that the name starts with air? Airwalk? Not Airstream. Not Airstream, that's a trailer. It was the boots that Neo wore in the first Matrix movie. They were air somethings, and I can picture the logo. It's like almost like a pyramid that kind of looks like an A. I so badly wanted a pair of those boots when I was a teenager.
Don't lie, you still want a pair of those boots.
No, I don't think I need knee-high leather boots.
Oh, come on, it'd be great.
Like, I've got my knee-high boots that I wore when I used to do the Ren Fair circuit. And my God, were those hot. Oh, my God.
That looks better.
That does look better. Let's do some work. If I know which way I'm going. No, this way. That's really hot on my hand, too. So we're just same penny scroll rules apply. Maybe if I don't destroy this in the process while this is burning the heck out of my hand. That might work. That might work. This is getting really hot too. I don't want to be holding on to this anymore. That was really hot.
Let me look at that.
You don't want to touch it. It's still burning through my glove.
Sorry. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's going to roll that way. There's definitely going to have to be some adjustments going on there because I'm a little bit wonky. So that's the general. And I didn't even swip over the camera. So I hope that looked all right on camera. You might be able to get it started with that, but don't work it too much. So I'll switch the camera for you though, so they can at least see you do it. Keep it working.
Oh boy, yeah, it's getting toasty.
Little toasty. Alright, I'd stop working that. Now at least you know the direction you're going. You know what we might do? Maybe next week we'll be making forge tools. Like the poker dealie. Maybe I'll come up with a rivet set and some rivets and I can finish off my coal shovel. And then I think particularly for things like this, it would be nice to have a forge mop. That would be nice.
Forge mop?
Forge mop. So you get a nice little handle, you put a ring on the end, and you shove a towel through that ring, and then you dip the towel in the water, and then you come out. You don't want like super dripping wet. You just want the towel wet, but not flooding. Then you would set it on the piece that you don't want to get hot. So it kind of keeps it cool a little bit.
So we're less likely to burn through the glove like we are right now.
Exactly. And but the downfall of that is you don't want to put too much moisture into your forge because then it can, if cold water gets down into your hot fire pot where the coal is.
Crack.
Exactly.
Like throwing water on the light bulb. You've never done that?
Like throwing water on a light bulb.
You can't tell me you haven't done that before.
I have not.
You know what we're doing later?
Yeah, get one of those old.
Why would you do that?
Why not?
It usually happens by accident. You have a water gun fight and accidentally shoot the light outside. It goes boom. So it's been on for 6 hours or whatever. Or you have a water balloon fight inside and it splashes up into the.
If I had a water balloon fight inside, I would not be alive to tell you about it.
So great story. When I was younger, my mom hated mopping the floor. So what she would do is when my friends would come over, she'd grab one of those big giant balloons, she'd fill it up with floor soap, and then fill it up with water, tie it off so we had a big giant water balloon, and we'd play soccer in the kitchen until the balloon popped, and then we'd mop it up.
Huh. That's awesome.
It is
It
delightful.
was.
That is delightful.
So awesome.
My mom has a knack for making chores at least entertaining.
One year for Christmas, I got one of those outdoor hockey sets that comes with one goal, two hockey sticks, and like a hollow puck, like the little cheapy orange ones. And it was just after Christmas, and only me and Dad were home. And my dad says, "Hey Jess, grab that hockey stuff real quick and follow me." I was like, "Okay." So I grabbed it all up, and we went into the kitchen, and we set the net up on one side of the kitchen, and then the doorway into the kitchen was the other goal. And me and Dad stood in the kitchen just slapping the puck back and forth at each other.
Exactly.
And you can imagine how that turned out. Like the puck is bouncing off the fridge and off the counters and flying all over the place. Mom was not super happy about that when she got home.
Yeah.
Ow, ow, ow. That is hot on the thumb. And I'm trying to do too many things at once. Ow. That is getting too hot to hold on to. And I'm just going to waste all my heat because that was burning the heck out of me. So now we get to go to the not fun part. Start using tongs. And destroy my fire at the same time.
Gonna tear up that fire real good.
Killing it.
Oh, we got a funny shape now, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, basically just a big old coal plow now.
I'm hoping that I can get this curl started. Nope, that's way too cold still.
So now you get to share ridiculous childhood story that of things you probably shouldn't have done, but we're still encouraged to do nonetheless.
Yeah, parental endorsed shenanigans. Nothing?
Who was it? So we'll eschew the ask a little bit. Who was it that was jumping down the stairs?
That wasn't parental approved.
Right, we're changing the rules a little bit because that's a
So-
pretty good story.
At my dad's house, my room was in the basement, and you
I'm gonna
know,
stand over here so the mic will pick you up better. Please.
so at my dad's house, room was in the basement, and my dad was a fireman. He's now retired. He was at work. They did 24 on, 48 off. So it was me, my mom, my brother. I don't remember what my mom did, but me and my brother were not happy with her. So I was like, all right, let's just like go fuck around downstairs, which turned into like it was wooden stairs, a platform, and this platform had the metal going around the corner of it or the edge of it. And you know, we both take turns swinging from the stairs on the basement floor. There was a rug at the bottom underneath that platform. So, you know, we went back and forth a bunch of times and fine, nothing happened. Until something did. And that was my brother landed on the mat, which slid out from under him, and he cracked his head on the corner. So I run upstairs because, you know, he's bleeding. I run upstairs and I start like getting washcloths and paper towels and whatever I could find. And my mom is like, she's like, "What's wrong? Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, it's fine. Don't worry about it." About 10 minutes go by. It was not fine. It was not fine, and we went to the hospital because he was not okay.
Hey, he turned out all right though.
You met my brother. Is he though?
But is it connected to that event, or was it?
Honestly, his whole life.
Well, I do know we probably won't encourage your mom or your brother to watch this stream.
Oh no, I'm 1000%. Be like, Jeff, I give you a shout out on this YouTube stream. You should go check it out.
Yeah, Jeff, just keep in mind, I was on your side on this one. You turned out just fine, despite what Meanie Face over here has to say about it.
Well, yeah, he was the accident-prone one in the family.
Yeah, me too. I'm definitely my father's son in that aspect. If there's a way for me to hurt myself, I'm going to figure out how to do it. That's not hot enough for what I'm doing. You're not quite there yet either. I should stop keeping my tongs on the forge too, because these are getting more too. Tongs to pick up tongs now.
Neighbors by the highway, and we can still hear them.
That may or may not be the neighbor. That's a pretty common sound in this neighborhood, is listening to everybody race their street bikes up and down this 38th Street down there.
They're doing that on 38th Street, or is it the highway we're hearing?
Probably a little bit of both, but, well, the highway's a little bit far away for that. It's probably Emerson and 38th, which now I'm giving good ideas as to where I live. Don't dox me, guys. So, probably over by that street and that street. Too late now. I'll re-upload it with, like, a duck quacking or something. Yeah. Started to download a free editing software the other day, and my hard drive was much too full to actually install it. So I'm going to have to install it to one of my other 4 hard drives on the machine.
First world problems.
Definitely a first world problem. I just need to go through and replace all the hard drives with like 2 terabyte disks or something.
Yeah, and it's cheap enough nowadays.
But the thing is, when I had to replace the water cooler on my CPU, it very quickly became apparent to me that working on computers is not fun at all, unless you're getting paid to. And I'm not paying myself to work on it. So.
Well, I still find it entertaining.
You haven't been doing it for 20-something years, though.
I have not been doing it in a professional setting. That is very true.
Oh, well, professional setting, a little more than 18. But I've been fixing, building computers since I was 14. 15, 14.
I didn't have a computer in high school, so I took 3 broken computers apart and built a working one out of all the parts.
I did that too. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, there for a while, I didn't even have a mouse hooked up to my computer. I just used the keyboard for everything I did. All keyboard shortcuts and command line stuff.
Yeah.
That was before I knew Linux was even a thing. And I remember in junior or senior year in high school, I learned what Linux was. And as it was described to me was, it's for engineers and like hardcore programmers and people that really know what they're doing. And it's like, well, that sounds really hard. I don't want to do that. So I shied away from
Yeah.
that. Funny how that plays out.
And that box I was telling you about was my Linux box. I was told, yeah, you can do Ubuntu. It's basically a free version of Windows. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll get that and I'll play some video games. It took me damn near 2 months to get Linux to recognize and work with the graphics card. And then I had to customize a profile for each and every game that I put on there.
Yeah,
And
that
it
sounds
was
about right.
Just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, that sounds about right. What year was this? About?
Like 03, 04.
Oh yeah, Linux was very rough back in those days. I think you're about ready to do the things if you want to jump in there. I forgot to change the camera again.
I'm hoping I can get this.
If you're quick, you should be able to get that curl started. Yeah, there you go. Doing well. Try and twist your hand a little bit so your hook is hanging off the side so you're not warping your hook while you're working. You're getting dangerously close there. There you go.
And now I'm out of heat.
Yep. Good job. But yeah, back in high school, I got suspended for 2 days because of a website I made. And then a year later, 2 years later, maybe 3 years later, it's hard to think of timelines that far away. But a few years later, I got a visit from the town marshal because of a different website that I made. The town marshal wanted to talk to me about some things I posted on the internet. But fortunately, I had a pretty decent rapport with the principal and the town marshal by this time in my life. So it was more of a stern conversation of, hey, what you did was not technically or legally wrong, but it's a little out of line, and we're not big fans of that. So, as a courtesy, would you please remove what you posted? And so I did. Good times.
Pretty colors.
Yeah. I just loved using a coal forge more than a gas forge, which, if you had told me that that would be a sentence I would say and mean when I first started blacksmithing, I would have laughed at you. Because when I first started, I hated using coal forges because I just constantly burned my piece all the time. But you learn to pay attention, and what's fun is when you work with coal fires long enough, you get this like internal timer where you put your piece in there. It's like, nah, it's probably about right, and most of the time it is if your fire is cooperating. But it's still very easy to get long-winded in a conversation or something and turn around and you have a sparkler. Can't tell you how many projects I've had to start completely over because, like, oh yeah, and so such and such happened. Then you pick up your piece and it breaks in half and falls into the fire. I just spent 2 hours on that. I guess I will start over.
Yeah. Just need to get some of those different salts so you can throw it on there and watch it sparkle different colors and not get distracted.
That's a thing a guy does for heat treating. It was actually on an episode of Forged in Fire. For heat treating, you want to get the metal to. Some people do it by the color of the metal. Some people use a magnet, which is how I do it. Other people get like a little thermometer type thing and hit it and stuff. And so what this guy would do, he would take a piece of metal, scrap metal, and put it in the forge next to his piece with table salt sprinkled on it. And when the table salt liquefies, that's the right temperature to heat treat metal, or whatever metal he was working, because they have different temperatures. But yeah, so he just waited for the salt to liquefy, and then he knew to pull out and jump into the quench tank. Which I thought was very clever. Hey, thank you. Oh, I almost did it right on myself. This is only a little bit awkward to do.
figure out how to finagle little palms now.
Yeah, I would say bite down as far down as you can and hang on tight. I was holding it by the actual penny scroll, but that might work out well for you. Yeah, it's moving over real nice.
Don't bother. We'll just set that there for now.
What did we throw down?
A wrench.
No, good place for it.
Yeah, no, buddy.
Yeah, back to the Linux thing. I got introduced to Linux back in 04, early 05. Had a couple of Linux classes in college, and we were learning about SSH, which is a way you communicate from one server to another. And the teacher was like, hey, share your root password with the guy sitting next to you, configure SSH, and then have your buddy SSH into your box, and then prove to me that that's what happened, and then that's your lab for the day. And one of my buddies in class, he's like, hey, somebody checked mine. We're like, what's your password? And he shouted it out. And like 90% of the class, it was a small class, but like 90% of us all jumped in and just started making text files in his home directory. It was just like touch file 1, but touch file 2, touch file 3, which just creates a bunch of files called file 1, file 2, file 3. And then we started getting mean, like you're a weirdo, you smell, dot text, and like your sister's hot, what's your number, dot text, all that stuff. And he's like, you guys stop it, like blah. He got all mad. So he rebooted his computer to kick us all out because he didn't know how to terminate our sessions. And I was watching him, and the moment his fingers hit the keyboard for him to log in, I quickly logged in, then set myself up a super user, which is like an admin user, and then I changed his root password and started doing text files things again. He's like, dang it, Jesse, you jerk. And so he rebooted it, not knowing I changed his root password. So then he couldn't log into it, but I could. And I just went to town on it. And he's like, give me the root password. So I gave it to him, which was like, you suck. And then he got in and started cleaning stuff up. And then I logged in as the super user I created and started doing it again and making his computer do all sorts of stuff. He's like, who's doing that? How are you doing it? What is that? I knocked everybody out, blah, blah, blah. And the teacher started laughing. He's like, what's going on? And I explained what had happened. And he's like, that was clever, Jesse. I'm going to give you extra credit for the day for hacking your friend's computer. I'm like, huzzah. He didn't think it was funny as the rest of us did.
I wonder why.
It was all good fun. Oh, I didn't switch the camera. Or did you switch it back already?
No.
Okay. Here, when he puts his piece back in the fire, if you want to walk her behind us, I'll switch the camera, and then everybody else can see the debut of Rochemay.
Not liking that.
Get it hot. You're just going to put yourself further in the hole.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to flatten that a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that when you come out of the fire the next time. We're going to take a half a second here. Do you want to walk Rochemay over this direction? Everyone can get to see her. Here, Rochemay.
Okay, Jesse.
There's Rochemay. I don't know if you guys can all see her, but this is little Rochemay here. Very excitable young puppy. All right, Rochemay. Sweet girl. All right, go inside.
Hi, Rush.
Go inside. Good girl. No, go with her. Inside. Hang on to her.
Why you got her all excited?
You have that around your wrist? You have that loop around your wrist? Okay.
I learned from the last time
Yeah, I don't want to have to shut down the stream so we can go chase her down. Rush it. Inside. Good girl. Yes. Yeah. So that's Roshime, everybody. My very small puppy dog. She will be 6 in September. Levi, will you hit that camera for me?
Mm-hmm.
Got a good heat over here. I say this project's just a little bit ridiculous, but I'm having a good time with it.
Me too. Not the easiest thing in the world, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge. You know what I want to do. If we can be quick about it. I did not think about this previously. Ooh, there we go. Levi, will you come over here and give that just a little tappy? Little tap. Tap. Nope. I did not have a good angle for that. Oh, up, maybe. Tap. 1. There it is. So yeah, there we go. You just got to find the right angle. I don't know if this is exactly the right tool for the job. This is just a ball filler. But it had the right surface area and it has a small enough profile to get down in there. So that's probably how we'll fix yours here since you're getting a little cattywampus.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. I think that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I would say so.
Excuse me. All right, let's fix the problems before we start doing more work. Yours is different than mine. Let's come up here. Now, hang on. There you go. Now, tap. Oops, shit, I fell off. Tap. Tap. So, hook it against the edge. Yep. And then you're going to want to tap it like right there. All right. Come back up to the top. Let's look at what we're doing. Go around to the other side. I think that's tucked in there pretty good. You want to give it just a slight tap there? There we go.
That's looking more better.
That worked out nicely. So yeah, another good lesson in learning the angles and shapes on your anvil. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments here, but I believe this is kind of a farrier style anvil because we got the extra lobs out of here on the side. I don't know what those are called. Probably not called lobs. But yeah, I think this is like a farrier style as anvil, which I've never made a horseshoe. Not opposed to doing it. I just never had an opportunity or taken the time to try it. Which is funny because when I tell people I blacksmith, that's usually their first question is, "Oh, do you make horseshoes?" Well, no, I'm a blacksmith, not a farrier. Which is not saying one is better than the other, because that's not what I do. Personally, I prefer making tools and little tchotchke things like this, like decorative pieces and tools and stuff. I think are the most fun to make. Kind of like my little cigar rest tchotchke there on the anvil. These are for sale on my Etsy shop at brimstoneforge.us. However, the ones on the store, the loop is off to the side, so the cigar sits at an angle. This was one of the. This was a prototype when we were still working out the design, and I really liked that. It's like, well, that looks good, but it will constantly put your cigar out because it's resting on the amber. But a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, what if we made it longer and then kicked it off to the side?" And I was like, "Well, make one. Let's see what it looks like." So he knocked one out real quick. It's like, I like that better. So that's the design we went with. So that's the one you can buy on the store. Brimstoneforge.us. Been plugging everybody else but myself on this thing. Don't want you to burn your hairs off. Done that a few times myself. Been many a time I leaned over hot metal and burn the tip of my beard. Can I borrow that? Thank you.
She's a stinker.
She gave you a hard time when you got inside?
Yeah, she started doing her laps like she always does.
I thought I heard her bounce off the wall.
Oh yeah. Well, and I like moved out of the way so she could, do her usual run. Well, then she decided to really start psyching me out. She'd do a lap and then she'd come up and she'd jump.
Mm-hmm.
But she wasn't close enough to actually like get me. She would get just close enough and she'd like hop up like she was gonna jump on me and then not.
Yep, she's trying to punk you. That's how she does it. She can establish dominance. You'll never get it back.
Okay, well, that's not gonna happen.
This is getting really awkward to hold on to. I don't know how to hold on to this. And I ran out of heat.
Probably need your help in fixing my dealio just because I don't have
4 hands?
Yeah.
We'll get this worked out.
How dare you?
right. Right in there.
Alright. Oh, I see it. I think you got it in one.
Yep.
Then correct that gap off this edge.
Mm-hmm.
Again, working all the angles on that anvil.
Trying to, anyways.
Which is why the anvil has so many different shapes and edges and radiuses and what have yous. Yeah, that's not going to have the grip strength.
Did just fine.
Oh, good. Because I mangled those with the power hammer.
Yeah, but it's 1/4 inch.
I still mangled them with a power hammer. Handles don't work quite right. I'm going to have to reconfigure those.
Pretty sure you've got like soot on your forehead. Maybe not. It might have just been a shadow.
Alright, let's see if I can get some
Or
more
just
curls
bushy
in here.
eyebrows.
Or that. There's a lot of hair happening. Who's to say?
This is getting really hard to hold on to and work the angle that will work.
Further along than I am.
Not by much. I'm just going to get this like dangerously hot and see if I can get that to roll over because working this kind of half heat is not going to be great for me. Oh, we passed the 2-hour mark about 15 minutes ago. Good, challenging project.
Alright.
How are we doing on battery? Oh, battery's good. My phone's getting struggling a little bit.
You're definitely able to keep it a little bit flatter than I am. What did I just do with?
Then you put them head down. Just try to keep it head up because I don't want to put hot down in the bucket. I've set my bucket on fire a couple of times. I once, true story, had a piece fly off of. I don't remember if I was working the piece or somebody else was, but a chunk of the hot metal flew off and landed in one of the pockets of the side of my bucket, and I wasn't going to reach in there with my hands and grab it. So I opened up my Pepsi and just poured a little Pepsi into the pocket to douse the flames.
Pepsi as a quenching agent. How interesting.
Not only will it quench your thirst, but it'll also quench your bucket.
No, that'd be a fun experiment. Pepsi versus water. What quenches better?
I wonder if you could like quench a knife in Pepsi, because I would imagine it'd be a little bit thicker than water.
Mm-hmm. But it's already aerated because of the carbon and the CO2.
Well, Pepsi, sponsor a stream and send me a bunch of free Pepsi and we'll try it.
It's like 40 something in his house right now.
Yeah, like send me like a keg of it so we can have a big bucket to quench in. Oh dang! I wasn't even looking at. It was the wrong camera. Pepsi. I'm sure you can still hear me. Send me a bunch of Pepsi. We'll try it.
She really likes how the last video turned out at the beginning.
There's some magic.
And then it started to get blurry once I tried to get your face in it. But up until then, thought it was pretty fun.
Great. You're having the problem that I was having.
Yep.
So is that penny scroll supposed to be flat?
Yep. I have to get that hot and fix that.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely could have done that on the first try.
Shots fired.
Clearly, I know about you guys because.
All right, grab a piece of metal. Jump over here. Show us how it's done.
Okay, give me a piece of metal.
You want to take it over for me and see if you can correct that
No.
and continue it on?
Why should I correct your mistake? What do you mean?
All right, I'll correct it, and then you finish off the scroll.
Okay. Because I've done a penny scroll before.
No, you haven't.
Done an S hook before. But I think I get the general idea.
If you can do that first little loop on a S hook, penny scroll is just continuing to do that. Not hot enough.
It was. You got it fixed, anyways.
I think I might just pull out that ball folder again and fix the lap that I have. I really think it was going to be that awkward, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to roll over much nicer. Will you grab that ball folder real quick? It's the one that stands alone.
I stand alone.
Yep. Watch your fingers. Hopefully we're on there. I don't think we are.
I think if we were on the camera,
Let's do one more. We might be able to do something with that.
Nope, this back ends up. It's cold.
This might not make it all the way
I
over.
was trying to swap the camera for you.
But it's okay, we are done at that part right now. But for the record, what you would do.
Excuse me.
No,
Just
I
check.
know, but I couldn't see your screen from where I was, which is why I didn't.
I got you. You don't have heat in the right spot. You want heat
Yeah, right in here.
at least back to there to get what you're doing. I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking about just cleaning up my scroll and letting it have a stem in between instead of trying to continue rolling that up tight.
That's understandable. I need to get at least another loop or two on mine. You want a ball full of that, or
No, I'm gonna see if I can get this right. Where's that? There we go. Found it. All right, let's try and get this rolled up a little bit more. I don't want to give up on it just yet, but I'm getting close. I'm gonna let that sit in there for a good long while, get really hot. See if I can't move that properly and then make a decision. I might leave a little bit of stuff in there.
still not getting eaten in the right spot?
I wonder if you could make a lantern hook and then tenon the back end of it, the non-hook part, then do your double penny scrolls and leave a really wide gap on the second one, and then put the tenon through that gap and then set it like a rivet. So then the hook would be riveted to it, and then you get really tight spirals. Because that hook is what's messing us up, is trying to work around that hook and keep that spiral tight.
Yeah.
I might try that. That'd be fun.
Definitely could.
I'll make a monkey tool to make that tenon. Or I could just do it off the side of the anvil if I don't want to cheat.
Yeah. Well, if you make a tool for it, then you can do these double scroll lantern hooks, lickety split, and toss them on your shop.
I could. I would want to make like a dozen of them before I post them to the shop, because it may take me 2 weeks to make one of those. I don't want shipping to be forever. Again, brimstoneforge.us. Right now it's cigar rest and coffee scoops, but like rifle hooks and decorative hooks to come. And thought about doing like Viking rune necklaces or other pendant style necklaces. Wish those hairpins weren't so tedious to make. I'd put those up. Which I'm pretty sure I've got pictures of those on the old Instagram, so check out my Instagram, brimstoneforge.us. And Facebook, brimstoneforge.us. Where else am I? TikTok, brimstoneforge.us. I think I got another one. But Twitch, brimstoneforge. And then, of course, YouTube. But you're probably watching this on YouTube, so you know how to find me there.
All you're missing is Discord.
Yeah, too much work.
Discord's easy.
Then you do it.
That was pretty much the response I got when I mentioned doing TikTok. It was like, okay, you're in charge of that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Have fun.
Yeah, I never brought TikTok up with him because he's always, I don't want to put TikTok on my phone.
No,
Let's
yeah.
not get into why.
No.
Let's not get this video banned, aside of swears and whatnot and tobacco use. Let's not talk about why Jesse doesn't want TikTok on his phone.
I don't think anyone will really question it.
You know, if we adjusted that fire just a little bit, that'd be a good forging fire, or forge welding fire. Just that just a little bit. Maybe in a couple weeks we'll do chain. That's fun. That'll be fun.
Chain sounds monotonous. I want to do something else if we're going to weld.
No, it's a good way to learn forge welding, though. You learn all the important steps of forge welding.
Okay, so we're not going to do chain. We're going to do lap weld with chain. We'll do 4 in 1.
I was thinking like friendship chain. And what we'll do is I will show you how to make one link, and then you make a link, and then Brittany makes the third link, which will then bind the other two together. Bob's your uncle. There's your chain.
All
And
right.
since Brittany purports to be such an expert in this, she'll get the hardest link to do.
Love that for me.
Doing the third link is the most difficult, because then you have 2 other links hanging off on the way, and when you pull out a fire, you got all this extra heat, and you got to manage it around the anvil to get to where you're working.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Do that in my sleep.
I believe that to be literally true. All right, let's see what we can do here. Oop. Don't you do it. Oh, we did it anyways.
I almost wish we had a little paintbrush that way we could quench the center of it.
Will you come give me a wrong one? Oh no, I lost it.
Right here.
Thank you. Yep, 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 yep. Hold on. Smack. Smack. One more. I'm gonna do this a little bit differently over here. Smack. There we go. That'll do for now. Oh, we made that worse. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna have to get that hot and fix that, and I think I'm done scrolling now. Real good. Plus, my phone is dying quickly, which will kill the stream. So now we know we can do about a 2.5 hour stream before my phone starts to die.
Back door unlocked.
Say front door's unlocked too. Oh, just kidding. Oh, you were talking about the house.
No, my charging port doesn't work, buddy. Motorola, hurry up and put out the new phones, would you?
Well, I mean, he can always end his, and then we can end the stream, and you can finish yours, and then just do like a final product.
Yeah.
If his phone is getting like that low.
15%.